What is up, everybody? Now here's a nice Christmas background for you. A nice little Christmas candle against a bunch of swirly galaxy stars and stuff like that. The website is pixabay.com. They've got a lot of royalty-free images as well as Creative Commons zero attribution required images. So I'm getting wallpaper from this site. I'm downloading wallpaper from this site. I'm downloading pictures for presentations from this site. It's really awesome. It's one of those things where you find it and you just bookmark it. I now have it among my multimedia bookmarks. But yeah, really nice Christmas background, or Christmassy background, I should say, since it's one red candle instead of an Advent wreath with 4 candles and a big one in the middle for Christmas. Finally, I can relax. Well, folks, as I get situated here, Merry Christmas and Blessed Christmastide from Jay's Geek House here in Connecticut. It's not the way I'd want to spend a Christmas, but, you know, you roll with the punches and you play the cards that you're dealt. My cards may not have been very good lately, but I gotta work with them somehow. So, I'm going to be a little hoarse, not only because of the cold that I'm getting over that I may or may not have uploaded a video about. I'm uploading things out of order because I've got way more material than I'm actually able to upload, so I'm probably going to try and play some catch-up on that as this Christmas stuff winds down and I get into my end-of-the-year vacation, which is my very first real vacation of 2015. I got to do better than this. I can't be finally going on vacation for the first time the last week of the year. I had to spread the days out because of snowstorms and crap earlier, so what are you going to do? So, this stuff right here is Aldi's answer to Martinelli's. It's sparkling white grape juice cocktail. Stuff's on sale. Stuff's on sale around Christmas, every Christmas and holidays, and it's kind of like Aldi's answer to Martinelli's. Problem is it has a lot of sugar, so you get the sand in your throat problem with that, and I got a cold, so that's why I'm just doing a kickback and laid-back vlog instead of doing anything like the radio-style series. I did, however, while cleaning out the Geek Suite, unearth my Bah Humbug Santa hat that I haven't worn in years. It was with some old Christmas tree ornaments. That from the last time I tried a formal Christmas tree. Not going to do that again. I'm just going to get a fiber optic tree because I'm a nerd. So it's a little thing that just comes out of the box, plugs in, fiber optics, yay! And you can just put on a few ornaments if you have them, but you don't have to like deck the thing completely out with every ornament under the sun and then have to take everything down afterwards, whatever. So, and then worry about the bulbs getting broken, yeah. So, Christmas this year essentially was part observance of the beginning of the season of Christmastide for me, and also finishing up the move. The move right now essentially is done. I'm only going back to clean at this point, and today was the day I had the steam cleaner and I was rug doctoring the carpets. The place reeks of rug doctor now, so it's, I was pretty surprised. I mean, I did vacuum my rugs. I did vacuum the place, but even the vacuums can't pick up everything. Sometimes you need a brush that brushes away at the carpet like the rug doctors have. And I was appalled at how much dirt that thing was picking up, even though we vacuumed the place 3 or 4 times beforehand. And they were just picking up so much stuff. Little bits of sand and dirt and stuff that had been tracked in over the years, and even though we'd gone over the whole place over and over again with stick vac, upright, and my stepmother, who does housekeeping for a living now, has a gigantic shop vac type thing that we can use with extremely high power. Like it's like 12.6 amps just for the vacuum. Really high power vacuum, and we sucked the living daylights out of those rugs. So there wasn't much left, or so we thought, until we actually ran the rug doctor over and saw what the brush was picking up. Well, you know, it's kind of like if you get a lot of stuff in your hands and you do this just to try and, you know, get the stuff off your hands, eventually you got to put your hands under some water and actually wash them instead of just trying to get the stuff off like that. So that's kind of what rug doctor is, except for carpets. All things considered, though, I think carpets are a liability in terms of property owners and landlords and stuff like that, because, you know, they're stainable, things like that. You could have problems here and there with that sort of thing. It's just, if I was knowing that so many renters out there don't take care of the places they live in, why would I want to go through the hassle of chasing down security deposits or suing people or whatnot, you know, by putting rugs and stuff? And that's one of the things I like about this place and its hardwood floors. It's an absolute breeze to keep clean. I mean, I've got this little stick vac, like I'm back in college, for crying out loud, and this little $20 stick vac cleans the place. I can vacuum almost all the rugs in here are throw rugs. So I can just pull them up, go pound them outside against the concrete porch, and then get what's left in them with this thing. It's crazy. I mean, this little $20 piece of junk can actually clean this place out. And I can take the bottom out, and I can take the top off, well, there we go, and essentially turn it into a corded dust buster to get up in the nooks and crannies or vacuum up cobwebs or something. But it's amazing. And that's because this place is made, like, for people that don't take care of places. Except I'm actually going to take care of the place. So it's... with the clear coat paint on the walls and the hardwood floors, it's a breeze to keep this place clean. And the brightness of it, the brightness of the place, I can see when something needs to be wiped out and take care of it on the spot. It's awesome. I love it. So, and I especially like, too, that the maintenance guy was out here. The maintenance guy was out here taking care of the sewer thing, and supposedly the landlord threw down some lime to help disinfect the remaining sewer smell down there. So I haven't been down there yet, but I got to go see if he sprinkled a bunch of garden lime there. It helps neutralize the sewage that leaked out of the pipe. There is an earthen floor underneath that pipe, so eventually the soil would take care of everything anyways, and all we really did was fertilize the soil, so to speak. We just got to make sure we take care of the sewer gas if there's any that's left from what was down there, because it might contain methane, which would make it explosive. Not good for the property owner anyways, but I applaud how quickly these people responded. They may be a little like on the communication side of it, like I might call someone and not get a call back, but I also have some things to work out with Frontier as well. I think Frontier has me set up so that I can send and receive calls, but my phone doesn't ring. So I keep getting voicemails and having to respond to people's voicemails. I'll start bugging them about that next week. Anyways, and get the runaround from them yet again because they're absolutely terrible. They're too bureaucratic with their help desk. There's too many people essentially going, "That's not my job," except without saying that's not my job. So, alright, Christmas wrap-up. Essentially, today was, me rug doctoring my old place, and tomorrow I could actually drop the keys in the mail. If the post office has their Saturday morning hours, I'm going to get up like I'm going to work, head out in the early morning hours, take care of the remaining, mop the floor, a couple places left to vacuum like some cabinets here and there, mop the floors, take care of all the remaining chores in the place, and then that's all she wrote. Probably shut off all the power to all the circuit breakers, and then shut the place down, lock it up, and then drop the keys in the mail. Probably going to buy a padded envelope and send it delivery confirmation or something like that, and then that'll be that with the Geek Suite. I am going to bring the camera for one more video once everything is as clean as it's going to get. I recorded one today just for the heck of it, but tomorrow will be, the final video, maybe, if I feel like making another one. So, and that'll be all she wrote with the Geek Suite. So, assuming the landlord doesn't pull any stunts, and he'd better appreciate that I'm trying to eliminate some of the steps in turning the unit around by doing what I've done. If he doesn't, then he is a Scroogey old miser, and as I figured anyways, sitting pretty in his near $1 million house while his properties just go to crap, and then he gets all mad because people say, hey, the roof shouldn't be leaking, or the stairs to the upstairs unit shouldn't be all rickety and stuff like that. Whatever, man. I found this landlord so far to be a lot better at property maintenance than that guy ever was. So that's my Christmas, really. Basically, I went up to, there's a local Catholic church nearby that had a Christmas morning mass. I haven't touched base yet with the Lutherans I'm involved with in terms of getting involved in their closest place. It would still be a bit of a road trip because they don't have any presents around here. So I'd have to go say hello to those folks and, see if I want to make the drive out there on Sundays. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's just too much kiss-assery going on when it comes to local churches around here. Basically, they're glad to see you, and they want to tippy-toe to not offend you, but they won't actually tell you anything. So essentially, it feels like a waste of time. You're going to these services, and they don't want to offend you, so they're not going to tell you anything substantial. So you're like, why? I'm not going to go through the motions here. So maybe it's my '90s alternative upbringing coming into play here as I struggle with the bits and pieces of this cold. But maybe it's my 90s upbringing and wanting things to be legitimate and not fake. So don't make people go through the motions, so to speak. Let them actually know what the heck they're working with and things like that. And that's really what the big problem with Christmas for me is nowadays anyways. Because I observe Christmas tide rather than this commercial crap with Santa Claus and everything. I make fun of Christmas nowadays more than anything else. Because I observe Christmas tide, it kind of puts me at odds with the whole program of how you're supposed to be. I'm wondering if I should even bother going to the family celebration tomorrow on Saturday. Because really when you stop and think about it, let's compare Christmas tide to what Christmas has become in our culture. That obnoxious, retail-obsessed, money-obsessed holiday where everybody puts insane demands on everybody and then wonders why so many people have problems around this time of year. So Christmastide starts on December 25th and extends for 12 days. It's primarily focused on charity and the gospel and Christian stuff and things like that. It's more of a church holiday than anything else. And yeah, there might be some gift giving here and there, but it's not something where you're going to be all greedy and threaten to not talk to your relatives next year if they don't get you everything that you want. So, oh, this darn cold. It's just screwing me over big time. But so it gets started on December 25th. Now, what passes for Christmas nowadays, with the 70-year-old songs on the radio that won't shut up, the nonsense going on in the stores, all the crap that goes on from Black Friday on down, and sometimes earlier with what the retailers try to do, all of that is wrapping up on the 25th. So you're kind of at odds wanting to be full of Christmas cheer and still singing Christmas hymns and stuff when you're doing it past New Year's because Epiphany isn't until the 4th of January. So it gets old fast, and I think a lot of that has to do with just what our culture has done to Christmas. Really, let's think about it. Santa Claus versus St. Nicholas. The St. Nicholas, the bishop with the Santa-ish looking vestments. St. Nicholas, who eventually became the Sinterklaas to the Dutch and something similar to the Germans, and then got morphed into Santa Claus as recently as the 19th and 20th centuries. Darn cold. St. Nicholas was a figure of charity. He would care for widows, orphans, and the Santa thing is descended from the saying that he would throw bags of gold coins through poor people's windows. He'd randomly just toss a bag of gold coins through poor people's windows and stuff. It was total charity. Total goody two-shoe, doing things to support those that are less fortunate. Great stuff. We need more of that in this world. Now, you take that, somehow we took St. Nicholas and turned him into Santa Claus. This guy who's looking over your shoulder. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. And he knows if you've been bad or good. So you better be good. So we've turned this charitable bishop who was charitable to the poor and to orphans and whatnot into this lard ass at the North Pole who is creepily keeping an eye on you to see if you're good or not. And you'd better be good or you're getting a lump of coal in your stocking. Just what has happened with St. Nicholas to Sinterklaas to Santa Claus is crazy enough. But then you have Christmas like what my step-relatives do, where they bankrupt themselves trying to get everything that everybody wants, year after year after year. They damage their credit, because there's this kind of this unwritten thing. If you don't get me everything that I want for Christmas, I'm not speaking to you next year. You're a deadbeat relative. I'm sorry we're related. It's terrible. It's terrible. And these people, they stress themselves out and they shackle themselves. You thought Jacob Marley's chains in the Scrooge story were bad. You know, Marley's ghost told Ebenezer Scrooge that his chains were invisible until the day of his death. I say there's plenty of invisible chains going on with what Christmas has been perverted into. Me, I, self, incurvatus in se, turned inward on the self, obsessed with the self, obsessed with one's ego and getting things things that ultimately drive us crazy, because the more things we have, the more we have to worry about those things getting damaged, stolen, creeping decrepitude, old, outdated, blah, 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 blah. I'm about to go through that with the great sift coming up for the clutter you see behind me, because I'm moving down from a bigger place, and I gotta think, do I really play that console anymore? Do I really play that game anymore? Do I really use this piece of furniture anymore? I've had to think long and hard, and I've already gotten rid of a lot of stuff just through the move-out process. My folks are actually going to have a big yard sale in the spring, and they've been loading things up in the basement of their place. So if nothing happens to their basement, they're going to be having a ginormous yard sale in the spring. So, but yeah, stuff, all this greed, and the paradox of human greed, because what greed ultimately boils down to is we think we don't appreciate what we have, but we think that this next thing that we want to get will finally make us happy when we get it. And we get the thing, and it doesn't do what we think it's going to do, and the cycle begins anew. That is the paradox of greed, and that is the paradox of what has ruined Christmas for so many people. It's not about charity, it's not about the gospel, it's not about Jesus, it's about me, myself, and I. What are you going to get me for Christmas? And the paradox that I don't appreciate what I already have, but if I just had this one thing, if I had that fancy car, if I had that fishing boat, if I was married to that person over there, if I was living in this neighborhood, in that cute little house, I would finally be happy. But has that happened with all the previous things that you thought would finally make you happy? It's an endless cycle. It hurts ourselves, and it hurts people around us, and it's absolutely antithetical to all the charity, peace on earth, goodwill towards men, and women, of course, all of these cutesy little goody two-shoe charity lines that people say again and again and again at Christmas time. It's totally antithetical to that. And so, as a big fan of the Scrooge story and the Scrooge movies, which is a family thing for me, for myself and my dad, I'm more than happy to say, bah humbug to all of it. I don't care if nobody gets me anything for Christmas. It's a pleasant surprise if anybody does. So far I've received, and there have been some surprises this year. I've received a Christmas card from relatives I've never even met, who talk to me on Facebook. And they like me, so they sent me a card. Nice! There's this girl I went to high school with years and years and years ago. Dating myself, I know. We talk on Facebook, and we're still friends and stuff like that. Probably never going to be anything more than that. But, you know, I have dumb luck, so you never know. But so she, out of the blue, bought me an axe set for Christmas. And I'm not talking like chopping wood or medieval whatever. I'm talking like the spray stuff. I don't wear Axe because I'm not that much of a ripped stud muffin, but she went and got me a whole thing of Axe Phoenix, the blue stuff. The body wash, the shampoo, conditioner, the deodorant, the spray. So I smelled really good going to the Christmas Mass this morning. So, yeah, I'm going to use that stuff at all the family get-togethers and things like that. Just use it up. I don't wear Axe too often because it's too expensive most of the time, but hey, Christmas thing, awesome. You know, this is it. I mean, this is the kind of goody two-shoe stuff that Christmas should be all about. Someone doesn't have to bankrupt themselves trying to buy me a Christmas present, because it's not about me. It's not about me getting more stuff. It's about the gospel. It's about Jesus. It's about the baby Jesus in the manger who would become the suffering servant king on the cross. It's all about the real keeping Christ in Christmas here. You know, the presents thing is just overblown. Completely overblown. And you know what? The Santa thing is overblown and abused as well. I mean, I was all big on Santa and whatnot as a kid, and I bought into that because my folks told me about it. I mean, they could have just been generous around Christmas time and not even bothered with that Santa stuff. But I went and I got into the whole Christmas presents thing because I didn't have a job yet. I wasn't making my own money, so birthdays and Christmas were my best chance to get those things I really wanted. If I'd been taught the value of a dollar and how to raise money and things like that and had some chances to make some money on my own, I probably wouldn't have valued Christmas as much. And then when I got out on my own, started making my own money and started buying my own stuff, it's just like, whatever, man. But for whatever reason, my step-relatives still haven't gotten that memo, and there's been plenty of, what, you didn't get me what I wanted for Christmas this year? That's it, better luck next year, don't call me for anything. So, it's crazy. You know, suicides go up around this time of year. People are more stressed around this time of year. All this bad stuff we hear all these statistics about around the holiday season, how people drive themselves nuts. And it doesn't have to be this way. How did we get to this from a holiday about being charitable to others? About we love because he first loved us. About something good happened to us, so we do the same to others in light of the good thing that happened to us. Why? How did we get to this point? Greed, corruption, I don't know, and I quite frankly don't care. I'm just more than happy to say bah humbug to all of it. Like Scrooge once said in the Scrooge movies, if anybody wants to object to me not wrapping myself up in this commercial nonsense year after year, in the words of Ebenezer Scrooge, you keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine. At least since I observe Christmastide, you can't say, like the folks said to Scrooge in the movie, but you don't keep it. To which I would turn around and say, well, let me leave it alone then. I'm certainly not leaving it alone. But this crap where everybody drives themselves nuts to try and please everybody and to please everybody on Christmas Day, it doesn't need to be that way. And I won't have a problem with anybody who didn't get me anything, that's for sure. Every gift that I get is a pleasant surprise and very much appreciated. But I am not going to stress people out with all kinds of demands that they do this, 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 and this on Christmas Day. It's inhumane to do so. So, at least the bah humbug hat came out of retirement. And now it's time to, once again, call it with this stuff. I don't intend on talking much about Christmastide anymore after this, because it's going to be a little personal observance of mine, but at least I dug out the old bah humbug hat. I'll definitely wear it to the family get-together tomorrow, as well as my ugly t-shirt with the big Santa thing that says, "Don't Stop Believin'." Kind of reminded me of Journey when I picked it up. But, so now we look forward to 2016, and what that might bring. I do have a dark feeling about 2016, but let's not jump the gun before absolutely necessary on this stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. Merry Christmas and blessed Christmastide. Until next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.